Okay, Ray, how you doing? This is Kinesiology 234. And for today's session, we're going to be talking about one, the in-class workout that I'm looking for you guys to do, and then also the partner consultations that we'll do in class as a mock, as a practice. So when we look at this, the first thing I'm looking for you guys to do is partner up. Now we're in an odd number situation here where we have 13 people in class. So what I need you guys to do is do one group of 3. And when we do this, I'm looking for you to partner up, much like we did before, spend about 15 minutes for one person being the client, one person being the trainer, and then 15 minutes switching. For the group of 3, we might go like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. We can do that. And I'm looking for you guys to do a workout together and build upon the skills that we talked about last time. So build upon the communication skills, the coaching skills, the cueing skills, the demonstration skills, and work through that process of how to effectively take a person through an exercise program. Now, I'm looking for you to have maybe 4 exercises. Perhaps you can do like a set, perhaps 2. So I'm not looking for you to do like a blistering workout, but I'm looking for you to be able to come up with an exercise, be able to describe the exercise, demonstrate the exercise, and then put the person in a situation where they can do the exercise in a positive manner and then be able to coach and cue them as they go through their reps. Now, if your partner is more advanced and you want to do some more advanced exercise protocol with them, please feel free to do so. But that's the big thing I'm looking for. Like, how do you introduce, describe, demonstrate, and then coach, cue, and correct? Those are your 3 C's that you have with this process. Now, of course, if the person wants to get an actual workout and you need to spot them, feel free to spot them. And what I want you to do, though, is go into our Blackboard shell, and you're already there because you're looking at this video. Find the workout template that you have in this module, and you'll have it each week. Plan out the workout that you're going to do with the other person. You have their name. From there, when you first meet with them, you can write down some information. You can go ahead and do the first workout for the week, and then be able to submit this for homework later on in the week after we do our second workout. So go in, get the template, start filling it out, and that way we can work on some of the hiccups in this process now before you're actually in front of your real clients. Next up, when we come back into the classroom, we'll have lecture. And in the lecture, we're really going to focus on the initial consultation, personality drivers, and then public speaking versus one-on-one. Because there's a big difference between when you do speech 101 and you have a presentation where you're presenting to a classroom of people of 20 and you have to sit across the table from somebody else and talk with them as a content expert. And that's really the deal here, guys. You are being hired and brought in to sit across the table from a person who perhaps might be an executive level person, operates at a very, very high functional level, manages different business units, perhaps an entire company, and they're seeking you out for your expertise. And you have to be able to successfully navigate that conversation in a manner where you're able to find out as much information as possible from them, but also start to build the relationship building process at that time. You started with the first phone call and the first contact you make with the person, and the relationship building process blossoms from there. But a sizable portion of it, you as a professional, how you're reflected upon by the person across the table starts at the table. And there's a difference. There's a real difference to speaking one-on-one versus public speaking, and it requires some savvy conversation skills and the ability to ask the right open-ended and closed-ended questions. So when we do this, I'm looking for you to partner up with the same group that you had and the same folks that you had up here in this in the workout. Those would be your partner 1, partner 2. That'll be your client, and you'll take turns doing this. And when you do this, I want the first person to go through and ask these questions. What's your favorite color? Real simple, right? Then it becomes, why is this your favorite color? A little more complex. And then it becomes, when you think of this color, what do you associate it with? So what you have is a very binary, this is what my favorite color is. It's either blue, it's either purple, it's either red. Absolute. And then it becomes, why is this your favorite color? So now this becomes a little bit more of an open-ended question where the person can elaborate further. And then when you start to get into, when you think of this color, what do you associate with it? That becomes more of an emotional tie-in, right? So it's real easy just to say, here's my favorite color, it's purple. Then it becomes, well, my favorite color is purple because I played sports at UW-Whitewater and I graduated there and I did my undergrad. And as a result, I really like the color purple beyond just being my favorite color. I associate it with Whitewater. And then what do I think about? Well, I think about fun times I had at Whitewater, the hard work I did with my classes, the accomplishment I had when I graduated with my bachelor's. Those are kind of emotional tie-ins that you'll start to put together when you sit across the table from your client. Now, the next series of questions as you switch partners will be, if you had to choose either a cat or a dog for a pet, which would you choose? And then be specific about the breed. If you like dogs, what kind of dog do you like? If you like cats, what kind of cat do you like? And then from there, you would ask, well, why did you choose this pet? Why do you like a dog versus a cat? And then it becomes, I'm sure as you can pick up from this presentation, it becomes now, okay, what would you use to describe the pet? What would be the words, like the adjectives you would use to describe the pet? Same kind of thought process. You're going from a very simple binary, either or, it's a cat or a dog kind of question, very closed-end type of question, to more open-ended where the person gets to talk and elaborate further. And you go from, on a perspective and a continuum, you go from a very basic yes or no type of question or binary type of question where it's a closed-end question to a more open-ended, emotionally driven question. And when you sit down across from people, you start to get better at knowing how to land these questions in the right moment to get the pace and the tone of the conversation just right to be able to find out more about the person sitting across from you. And in the consultation, I tend to work in several questions that include these, and I want you guys to try these together. Did you participate in sports growing up? And then what sports did you participate in? And then, for example, how far did you go? Like, how successful were you in sports? And then, like, what do you do now for activities? And then why do you like these activities? And again, you can kind of see the context of what we're talking about here. When you get into this, you go, okay, well, some of the sports that I liked growing up, I played football and I ran track. And I ended up playing football and running track in college. So, all right, it wasn't like I just ran it in elementary school. So there's something there where I had some success in those activities that allowed me to continue to play into college. So that gives you an idea of mindset, dedication, my ability to work, et cetera. These are kind of things that you can start to put into place. And then it becomes, all right, how successful were you? Did you end up competing in the Olympics? Were you a thrower? Did you run 400 meters? That gives you another perspective on mindset and capability. And as you go through this, you start to go, okay, they're very successful in this particular area. Now, what do you do? Well, I like doing a 5K every once in a while, or I do triathlons. Well, it's more endurance oriented. I love going to the studio down in Schaumburg, the box down there, and I do all kinds of HIIT stuff, and I love doing power cleans and box jumps. It's more on the explosive side of the continuum. So through these kind of Q&A, right, the Q&A that you have with your person, you're better able to get a perspective of who they are. Of course, you have to ask the other questions about health history and everything else, but these are the kind of questions that really give you a deeper perspective regarding the person, who they are, what makes them tick. And to a certain degree, that allows you as a trainer to be able to lever your client and motivate them better. And that's part of your relationship. And you have to be comfortable with being able to get the clearest picture possible regarding who they are, what they're capable of, perhaps what their contraindications are, and what their motivations are for working out. One of the other presentations we talk in terms of why that person is sitting across from me. And I've stated this in class, and I've said it at 1,000 other presentations. I make it very clear, like when I sit down with individuals, sometimes we're in the middle of a conversation. I say, well, client, you're sitting across the table from me for a reason. There's a reason why we're having this conversation. Can you please describe to me further what that reason is? What is it you're trying to accomplish here? And I'm going to tell you again, and I said it before, many times people are either running from something or they're running to something. They're running from a bad doctor's visit, some bad family history, or they're running towards a wedding dress or a destination vacation. And it's usually categorized into those two broad categories. And from there, you can use your Q&A to help paint a clearer picture of their psychological and their emotional drivers and where they are physically, and then also what their physical capabilities are based on their background and experience. So I hope this all helps. I want you guys to definitely dig into this a little bit further with your people you're going to be working with today, and then definitely dig into it further when you're working with your client in about a week or so. All right, guys, have a great one.